Hi, it's me. If you don't know who that is, my name is Ella, and I make videos about whatever I want. So, yeah. Yay! I read 110 books this year, so I picked 10 of them. That's the best. So I guess I'll just start talking and see where this goes. Number 10 is the first book I read this year, which was I Was Born for This by Alice Oseman. If you've ever watched any of my videos, you should know that I absolutely adore Alice Oseman. I think she's so good. So talented. And Loveless is one of my favorite books. Radio Silence is one of my favorite books. But I read those both last year. I like this one a lot too. It was really good. It's about this band finding identities. I talked about it a lot. Basically, I just think she writes really good, relatable, authentic YA fiction. And this book is so good. It goes like, it's darker than her other books. Like, a lot darker. I thought something very bad was going to happen. And it really paid off. Like, it was very anxious. I felt like it was building up to something. And then it did build up to something. Which is generally what books do. Rising action and stuff. But yeah, I thought it was really good. I really liked it. Okay, moving on. Oh, next was a thriller or mystery, which was The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. This book was so good. This book was so good. I loved it. I thought it would be really confusing. It's about this guy. He wakes up and he doesn't remember anything. And he basically is witnessing the death of Evelyn Hardcastle, and he wakes up in a different body every day, and he has 7 days to solve this mystery, or else he has to start all over, and he has to relive this loop until he solves the death of Evelyn Hardcastle. It was so good. It was so convoluted, and all the pieces like fit together so well. I read it in one day in February. An audiobook. The audiobook was pretty good. It had Plague Doctor in it. That was really cool. I love Plague Doctors. But yeah, definitely a vibe. Very vibey, very atmospheric. And I love that kind of stuff in writing. Let's see if I wrote anything else in my notes. Nope, that's it. So I guess I'm moving on. Next is another thriller, but a YA one. Ooh, wow. I said I didn't like those. Ace of Spades was a book I read towards the end of the year, and it really surprised me at how much I did like it. It was also really convoluted. It's about these two black students in a white school, and rumors start spreading about them through this via online thing called Ace of Spades. And they have to solve the bigger mystery around it if they want a chance to do what they want. One of them wants to get into Juilliard, the other one wants to get into Yale, I believe, and one of them has a pretty not good life, and so it's his only chance to get out. And you're basically following those two characters, what they're dealing with. The characters were really well written. I really found myself getting attached to them. Even the side characters I really liked, and the way everything fit together. There were a couple of plot twists I did not see coming, a couple that I did, but I really enjoyed it. It was a really fun time. I think it was a really good YA book, and it was also a very effective thriller, which you don't really, you don't get both. And also, I don't like when YA like holds back. I feel like it didn't hold back that much, which is good. So, yay! I feel like I've talked about this book a lot. The next one, number 7, Release by Patrick Ness, is a masterpiece. I love Patrick Ness. He is so good at writing. I would read anything he's written. That's a lie. I'm not reading whatever that one book with the movie was made off of it. It seems really boring. It's also really long, but beyond the point. I read Release. It's like almost would be a normal YA book, except for there's like a B plot that follows this woman who is in a lake, and it's really weird. And honestly, I didn't get it that much, and that's why it held me back from giving 5 stars. But if you like speculative fiction, it's really good. It follows this kid, and he's basically going through a lot, and it follows one day of his life. A very chaotic day in his life. and the pacing was so good. I felt like I could not put this down for like 2 seconds. The characters were so good. Like all of them. The dialogue was like so good. I loved it. I loved it so much. And yeah, just the writing. Just Patrick Ness can write. He really can. And I'm definitely gonna read something else he wrote in the future. Yay. Okay, next. Next is a fantasy, which does not usually happen with me, except for the first book on this list, but that's beyond the point. And it's actually a trilogy. Oh wait, I have more okay, I guess there's kind of a lot of fantasy on this list. And okay, number 6, the Young Elites trilogy. I loved this trilogy. It got me through the winter. I really should reread it. It was so good. It was so good. The pacing was good. The character dynamics. I can't describe it. The characters had these dynamics with each other. They had these relationships. And they were so good. They were so complex for like a YA book. And they made so much sense to me, at least. And it's not just like the main characters, like other characters on the side. And you get to explore all of them, and it just all comes together. And then it's, you know, they're all like morally gray, and it's a villain arc. And the ending was, I knew exactly what was going to happen, but it's exactly what I need to happen. The first book was like kind of an average fantasy book. I gave it 3 stars. The second book, I like literally wanted to give 5 stars, but I didn't for some reason. And then the third book, I gave 4 stars. But the second one was definitely my favorite. I think that's kind of like an unpopular opinion. I feel like people like the first one the most because it is the most basic fantasy, but I think the second one is that everything really came together. And the third one was just really short, and it was basically just the ending. But it had some really beautiful writing in it, and I'd definitely read something else from Marie Lu. I want to, actually. I just haven't. But yes, I loved it so much. I adore it. It's my favorite series. Well, nothing can beat the series of Unfortunate Events, but it's my favorite series that I've read this year. 5 is something I swore not to talk about, and these are where I get into the 5-star books. I don't even want to say anything about it because I feel like everyone talks about them so much, but I actually made a video about the crows, where I ranked all my favorite characters like a Dance Moms pyramid. It was a time. It was a vibe. I recommend watching it if you want to see some like crackhead energy and a really bad hairstyle. Who let me get on camera like that? Yeah, I mean, do I even have to say what these books are about or like, what happens in them? 6 people, found family, heists, vibes, magic. Not really. Like, yeah, no, actually, yeah. Character development, unless you're Cass Barker. My opinions on him. They're just good. They're just really addicting books. The TV show was really good. I just really liked them. They were very entertaining, and they're big books, but I read them in like 2 days. That's all you need to know, but again, people know about these books. I'm not saying anything revolutionary here. 4 is Beartown by Frederick Bachman. Loved this book. I love literary fiction. I think it is so good. And this was definitely my favorite literary fiction. It was just so complex. And there were so many pieces, but it still was like really easy to read. And I feel like it was really emotional, but it still had fun time. Like the balance between emotions was so good. It was so intense though. Like it's about this little hockey town, and it's a very small town. They really the only thing they have is like their hockey team. And it follows the coach, the players, other people in the town, the daughters and sons of the coach and the people who run the club. And yeah, I did not expect to like a hockey book this much, but I thought it was really impactful, really impactful, and it wrote all the characters really well. I feel like all of them had really realistic arcs, and it tackled so many subjects, but so well. So good. It was so good. It made me cry. Not really, but on the inside. 3 is technically a reread, but I read it before I started rating things, and it was a long time, so I'm just considering it a new read, and that's Just Kill Me. It's a YA, like, a YA realistic fiction. Well, that's debatable, because there are ghosts in it, but that's also debatable. It's just so good. It's just, like, my favorite protagonist. I relate to her so much. It's about this girl named Megan? Yeah, sure. And she, like, is looking for a summer job. Her mom runs a funeral home. She lives in the funeral home, and she gets on doing ghost tours with her old babysitter. And business isn't going so well, so they decide to start making some ghosts of their own, maybe, possibly. It's really good. It's really weird, and the plot is, like, it's the kind of weird that makes you, like, wonder if it's actually happening or if the whole thing's just, like, a joke. And that's what I like about it. It's, like, it's very unsure of the book isn't unsure of itself, but the plot makes you very unsure. And mostly this protagonist is so relatable. It's so engaging. It's a really good YA book that I feel like no one talks about. Yeah, I just had a really, like, chill vibe to it, because it did. It's not that long. You can read it very easily, and I totally recommend it with my whole entire heart. Okay, in second place is another genre that I rarely read from, and it is We Are the Weather. It is a nonfiction book about climate change. And I can't put into words how good this book is. Like, it is not a book about climate change. It is so much more. It is so nuanced. It is not just telling you, like, the climate is dying. Like, it's so much more than that. It's so much better than that. It's pretty short. It goes through, like, so many different point of views. It really, like, tackled my emotions. I was like, wow, I never even thought about that. Or, like, I have thought about that, but, like, everything they were saying he was saying, it just resonated with me so much. And I'm underselling this book so much. Like, even if you're not a big fan of, like, activist, read it. It's so helpful. It helped me understand so much, but it's not, like, preachy. It tackles it from a very human standpoint. Like, it could be any of us. And it also, like, the feeling of helplessness and hopelessness about the environment, but still that feeling of hope and, like, we can get better. And not just about the environment, but a lot of other things too. And read it, please. Thank you. And in first place is a book that I feel like I could talk about forever, and that is The Monster of Elendhaven. It's so good. If you're looking for, like, a really vibey, atmospheric book, it's about this monster named something, and he basically just goes around killing people, doing monster stuff. And then he meets this dude named Florian, who's, like, a scientist doctor dude, and they basically, like, destroy the world. And it's really vibey and atmospheric. It's really gory. It's really gory. It gets really dark, and I love when books just don't hold back at all. This book had no holding back. It was so good. The writing was so pretty. If you like Victoria Schwab, the writing is similar, and the covers are similar. It's honestly something she'd write, but almost better, I feel like, because it doesn't have that big name attached to it. Not as many people have read it. I was able to, like, enjoy it without the opinions of other people influencing it. But yeah, if you want, like, evil characters doing evil things with beautiful writing and it gets dark, like, oof, read this book. Read this book right now. I would not recommend this book to anyone, but that's why I like it. It's so good. I'm still obsessed with it. I'm still so obsessed with it. Yeah, so that's my video. If you want to watch the worst books, I also have opinions. Yes, I have opinions. Oh, okay. So yeah, just watch it, please. Thank you. Bye. Have a good day.